Alright, hi friends. This is just a spontaneous video I'm doing um, in relation to the current edition of The Big Issue. Um, if you haven't seen it yet, the current edition of The Big Issue is about the feature cover story is about death and how to say goodbye and different funeral options and all that sort of stuff. I thought I'd come down and to the um, Memorial Park. Um, this is the one that's near where I live. This is where my mum's at. Well, the park is where she's at. And I thought I'd sort of share a few things that I know about death and like funerals and stuff. Yeah. Because look, I've got an interest in like crime scene cleaning and just, I mean, not in a sad way, but like death in general. It's one of those things that just fascinates me. And I'm following a couple of morticians on TikTok and a few people on TikTok that do like what is it? Autopsies, and so their niche for these morticians and or autopsy people, what they do is they answer like either it's like they answer people's questions about their job, or they just sort of just give advice of just absurd things that have sort of happened. Um, but I think the things that I really want to make point of in relation to the big issue, like for the current edition, sorry, this is standing on what you expect. Or a few things that I found interesting has been, so like for example, when you get if you get cremated, so all it is when you get cremated remains back is just bone, crushed up bone. That's essentially all you get. So there's no clothing, no that would have all burnt off, and there's I want to say generally there's no like metal bits, like if they had like a knee replacement or hip replacement, and so I don't think you should be getting any like like metal bits in all that. So it's all essentially just crushed up bone, and you generally you don't get any like remains of anybody else because they do one body at a time, and they do an extensive, thorough cleaning of the crematorium oven thing. So even if you did get like somebody's remains, like it'd only be like very, very, very like very small percentage that you would, but highly unlikely that you wouldn't. Um, yeah. But the main thing that I find interesting about cremation is that the weight of a cremated body is about the same as the weight of a newborn baby. So it's sort of like as if it's sort of like the whole circle of life thing, and dust to dust and ashes to ashes kind of thing, which I really find quite interesting. But yeah, that's the main fact that I find quite interesting about cremation. Uh, yeah. And like these days you can do like a lot, like with like you don't have to just be buried. Like you can like you can do. I mean, I know some of these options are expensive, but you can turn like your ashes if you get cremated into like jewelry or like synthetic diamonds. Um, well, I've heard of people doing like tattoos with them, but I don't think very many tattooists do that sort of thing. Uh, but yeah, I know for me personally, I want to get, and I know it's expensive, but with me, I want to get I want to get cremated, but I want to get like my ashes turn into fireworks, just for the sole reason I've got to go off with a bang. Um, yeah, yeah. Also, I think also too like, like I know people do like when they scatter people's ashes. That sometimes it's somewhere of importance and stuff. Um, you know, like they grew up in that suburb, or it's their favourite beach, or it's like their football club or whatever. Um, but I think there's no real limits on what you can do, really. Like you can, like for example, my mum, she got cremated, and um, and I've actually got a long story short, I've actually got her in a Harrods bag. So yeah, her ashes are in the original box that she came in, like when she got cremated. But like she's in a Harrods bag. So the extensive or the longer version of that is so basically, um, for a long time, like I would be talking to my mum that I wanted to go to the UK and to London, and she always used to say, "Oh, if you go to London, you have to go to Harrods, and you have to get me one of those bags with the Scottish Terrier on it." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, of course, of course." And then, unfortunately, she died before I got to the UK. So yeah, she died in 2010. And then, with some of the money that I got from her death, I put it towards going to the UK. And so I ended up getting I ended up going to Harrods. I actually quite liked Harrods. I mean, expensive, but I liked it. Um, and I ended up getting this bag. It did like a Harrods. It's a Harrods branded bag, but yeah, Harrods branded bag, but it doesn't have the Scottish Terrier on it. But it's got all these like it's black. It's a black bag with pink Swarovski crystals on it, and unfortunately there was only a choice of either silver or pink, so I chose pink. And I would have preferred green, but whatever. And yeah, so she's in this black bag with these bloody shiny crystals all over it. Well, not all over it. Just says Harrods. And then um, I ended up also getting this like key ring that was of at Harrods of a like this little Scottish terrier, and I think it's got like a little like tag that says Harrods on it. So she still gets the Harrods bag, she still gets the Scottish Terrier, but it's just not a Scottish Terrier bag specifically. So yeah, look, fun stuff like that I really love. Like, yeah, I do like the unusual, to be honest. Anyway, this is turning into a long video. I just thought I'd come here, just share my thoughts, and yeah, hope you're liking the view anyway. Yeah, unfortunately they don't have the thing going today. They usually have a bit of a water fountain thing going, but it's obviously not going today. But that's all right. Or they got the dolphin one that I can see next to me. That's going. But no, usually they have one that's in the middle of the lake that goes, and it's quite impressive. But yeah, obviously not now. Maybe too late in the day. Anyway, yeah, catch you around. Yeah.